Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Sector 5. I'm your host as always, Cody the Hangman Heinzman. For those who may have seen, I went live on Periscope and did these already. You're gonna have to either can stop the video now or you can watch this one through. Basically, here's the thing. Periscope can save videos over to the camera roll as long as there's room. And basically, I don't have much room in a lot of things. Who knows? I might not even be able to finish this video and have to start it over again. Anyways, this is just me going ahead, recording my Hell in a Cell pay-per-view predictions without Periscope so I can actually upload it to YouTube because I didn't have enough room for the other one to save over to my iPad. So anyways, let's get started before I run out of room. As always, the format, non-title matches, then title matches. And I also have a water this time because I just finished all the talking that I did and my voice is still getting a little scraggly, so I'm going to be drinking a little bit of water during all this. So anyways, after I take the sip, we'll get started. We have the kickoff show. We have Ziggler, Cesaro, Neville versus Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barret. Before I go on to that, a little explanation. I have only watched one Monday Night Raw since Night of Champions happened, so I'm a little not knowing of what happened on most shows. I watched one Monday Night Raw, and that was it. So, this is a little off the cusp that I'm going and trying to figure out who I think is going to win. I honestly think the faces, Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville, are going to take this win. Basically just because I feel like the face is going to win this one. Next up, we have Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in a Hell in a Cell match. I speculated that most likely the Wyatt family is going to get involved. I mean, there's no way that they're not. Even if it's a Hell in a Cell match, they'll find a way. Who knows, it just... but I still think Roman Reigns is going to take the win, because I don't see where the Reigns and Bray Wyatt storyline can continue, unless, for some way, somehow, we finally do see the Shield reunite. But who knows if that's still in the works. It may be years before we see that happen again. But I feel like it's still going to happen at some point. Next up, we have Undertaker and Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell match. Taker has a win at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar has his win at WrestleMania. This match is a lot like the WrestleMania match. I don't think Undertaker has an undefeated streak in Hell in a Cell matches. But when you think Hell in a Cell, you think of two people. You think of Taker, and you think of Kane. I mean, you probably think of Mankind because he's been thrown off the top of it. And I believe Undertaker has... Triple H was undefeated in a Hell in a Cell until WrestleMania when he faced Undertaker. But main people you think of Hell in a Cell, you think of Undertaker, and you think of Kane. So this is supposed to be Taker's element, which means we may be seeing Brock Lesnar being able to conquer Undertaker in his element yet again. But I feel like this is also a way for WWE to make it where Undertaker beats Brock Lesnar in what's supposed to be his element. As I said earlier when I did this on Periscope, I always will not believe Brock Lesnar is the one that should have broken the streak. It's happened though, and this is hopefully going to be the last time we see Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, because I don't see where this could continue on. That's it for all the non-title matches. Let's go on to the title matches ones. We have John Cena versus somebody. John Cena's going to have an open United States Open challenge at Hell in a Cell. And honestly, I think that whoever's coming out to face John Cena is going to take the United States Championship. I said it in the pay-per-view predictions in the Periscope that I did, that we're not going to see a small name coming out there to face John Cena, like Stardust, Heath Slater, Zack Ryder. We're not going to see someone like that coming out there. We're going to actually see a big name come out there and face John Cena. The only person I could speculate and sit and think of a big name was Big Show. Because Randy Orton is not a heel right now, and nor do I see him ever going for the United States Championship again. So Big Show's really the only big name that I popped in my head that potentially could be it. But I also said if John Cena is going to face one of these small names, like Heath Slater, Zack Ryder, someone like that, Kofi, Xavier Woods, those are other names that I threw out there, then maybe John Cena would win. But I more or less think John Cena's actually going to face a name and lose at Hell in a Cell. Next title match we have the New Day versus Dudley Boys. Rematch from Night of Champions. And it may end like it did at Night of Champions with Xavier Woods getting involved. Kind of hope it doesn't, because that's just irritates me. It bugs me more knowing that this is where Kofi Kingston's gone. I know I say it every video that I do not like that this is the route that Kofi Kingston has been taking, that he has kind of been forced to or whatever. I just want New Day done. It has to end soon. How much longer can New Day last? There has to be an ending soon. And I'll be happy when Kofi Kingston comes out and we hear, "Should've you know, SOS." We hear Kofi come back to that, and the Boom Squad gets the boom back. That's my... I also brought up the fact that the Dudley Boys, I talked about earlier, where Dudley Boys, like United Champions, I talked where Dudley Boys would face New Day for a rematch on like a Monday Night Raw and a SmackDown, and they'd lose, and then at the next pay-per-view they'd face the Primetime Players. But I haven't seen or heard, I mean, I haven't seen because I haven't watched a lot, but I haven't really heard much about the Primetime Players recently. So it's kind of hard to think that the Primetime Players would be in the Tag Team Championship hunt whenever you haven't heard of them forever. Really, the only tag teams I've heard of a lot is New Day and the Dudleys. Again, haven't watched much, so I don't know where the tag team division is currently. I'm hoping to pick up after Hell in a Cell. I kind of kept myself, after missing a few episodes, I just kind of wanted to keep myself ignorant, there's the word I was looking for, to it, and that I really didn't know what was going on, so I had a video like this. I'm going to try and pick it back up after Hell in a Cell. I can at least keep up with Monday Night Raw. SmackDowns will be a little hectic. That'll be explained more towards the end of the video. Back to the topic at hand about this video. Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. And when I did this earlier on the Periscope, I really didn't have a clue where this was going to go. I kind of felt like this was going to be like when Paige and AJ was fighting for it, where they went back and forth holding the title. Because after Charlotte won the title at Night of Champions, there really hasn't been much of her that I know of. I mean, I really haven't seen many matches with Charlotte coming out there as Divas champion. I've seen a lot of Team Bad and the Bellas. PCB was been just a bunch of talk. I mean, I haven't seen much from Paige, Becky, or Charlotte since Charlotte won the title. So I kind of see Nikki winning it at Hell in a Cell, and then it just get traded back and forth between them for a little while until someone from Team Bad comes into the situation. Because I honestly think Sasha Banks at some point will be Divas champion. There's no denying that. Even though Naomi probably should have it first, I kind of think that Sasha Banks coming in, being part of Team Bad, is going to oversee Naomi. And the only way she'd be able to win it is by going face again. Which, honestly, Naomi hasn't really been a heel per se. She has the heel title, but she's kind of that neutral. So, to go back to what I was saying, I think Nikki Bella's going to win back the Divas Championship, and we're going to see a few trading back and forth between Nikki and Charlotte, just because of the sheer fact that Charlotte hasn't been said much, or talked about, or seen much in action. Next up, we have Kevin Owens versus Ryback for the Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, I think Kevin Owens is going to retain it. It's going to be a few pay-per-views before Kevin Owens loses that Intercontinental title. He is a good champion, but not a good personality. He has the fight, but he doesn't always like to bring it. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Owens. I've said that. I don't like the way they have the character. The fact that he's one of those people that's like, I'm a wrestler, but I don't want to get hurt. The big guy versus the big guy, Ryback. And I honestly don't think Ryback's going to win back the Intercontinental title. It's probably going to be a good while before we see Ryback holding gold again in the WWE. Whether retaining the Intercontinental Championship or someone else besides John Cena holding the United States Championship and he'd go up for that. Because I do not think we're going to see Ryback be WWE World Heavyweight Champion in a while. It's more looking towards him becoming United States or potentially getting a tag team and tagging up with someone. But I digress. We're going to the final match of the night. We have Seth Rollins versus Kane for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this stipulation that I know of because it was on the Monday Night Raw that I watched. Kane, if he loses his position as the Director of Operations. And that's why